I think we might have to push them. They won't drag, they're just breaking. Ah, there we go, look at that.
Perfect. Today we're back at Glastonbury Mound 74 to do a post-mortem. This is a really, really interesting point in the whole experimental process, because this is where we're able to gauge how long a house might have survived in the Iron Age, what kind of materials were used and why materials were chosen. Oh, that looks like a really nice chunk there. It's got some nice impressions and it's still got some of the wattle left inside it, so we will have that. Daub is typically made of a mixture of clay, often dung, cow dung or horse dung, which is really nice and fibrous, mixed with water, and then some other times things like straw and other fibres will be included. And basically that's so that it gives it a really nice connectivity. It doesn't break apart very easily and it just adds strength to the whole matrix. What I'm really interested in is to see if we burn this, does the burnt daub retain these nice impressions of the wattle? But the other thing I've been thinking about is, of course, we've painted our house, and you can see how very, very fine that layer is. And I don't think we have any evidence in Britain for painted roundhouses.
I'm not aware of any at all.
But you can see why, how it's quite flimsy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's holding it all together nicely, but it is really, really flimsy, and you could see why it would disappear quite easily over time.
In 2,000 years' time, a lump of clay might not look to have been painted, but does it leave some deposit there that might be a sort of a clue to kind of look differently at lumps of clay?
So let's definitely burn some, but we should also bury some.
Yeah.
And just keep an eye on it over time and see what happens to it. We're burning some daub just to see what effect fire has on it, and the reason we're doing this is that often you hear of roundhouses burning down, or you get evidence of burning episodes on archaeological sites. So what we really want to find out is what happens to daub when you burn it. Can you recognise it as daub? Whether or not the impressions that we've seen before remain, and would we recognise it in an archaeological site where you've had an episode of burning? Oh.
It's important to record what it looks like now, because what we're wanting to see is, does it change? So if we can't remember what it started as, the experiment is lost. So we need to know where we start and then record where we get to.
I think we are good to go.
Burn, baby, burn.
It's nice and clean, it's amazing. It doesn't smell actually.
No.
It's really quite inert stuff, isn't it?
No, the bacteria, which is what makes the dung smell in the first place, either dies or becomes completely inert. So you don't smell it. You know, a lot of people think it's horrible to have dung in the walls, but it's completely smell-free. Fresh as a daisy. Look at that. It doesn't look much, but it's quite an exciting experiment, isn't it?
It is. Who knew? So I reckon we should leave this for a good while. Let it get nice and hot, let it get burnt down, and come back and see what we got. It's slowly disappearing, and it gets more and more interesting in many ways the further we go down.
Yeah. This wall looks in pretty good condition, doesn't it? But it's surprisingly degraded. I found recently that you can just do that, hold your breath.
Wow, look at that. That's just dust inside, isn't it? Does it go through the daub easily? Though it does. Look at that, wow.
So it's not quite as solid as it looks.
No, I mean that's just been held together by the outer bark, isn't it? Once you get inside, it just breaks into dust.
Yeah, and the daub has just kept the whole structure up, I think.
It looks like it's all nice and intact and everything from the outside because the bark is fine. But once you get into the middle, you can see it's just powder.
It does look like the different tree species have performed quite differently, because that's
exactly what we were
hazel.
seeing in the ground over there, isn't it?
But if you look at that, which I think is ash, it's not crumbly. I mean, it's rotted away, but it's nothing like that.
This was the side that was in the ground, so you'd expect that anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the ash rafters were in really good shape as well, weren't they?
But that was never in the ground. That's actually from the top, and it's still absolutely, it's like flour. Once this is gone, of course, it's gone. So the more we record, either measuring, drawing, or photographing, we can pass that data on. Right, I guess what's left is to go and measure it.
So if you give me the point of that corner over there.
I've got to add 30, so I'm at 70.
Just over 6.5 meters in total. So this is very much a kind of an initial assessment of what we've got left. We will tidy it again further. We're going to take away all of the wall and then plan the entire thing. But this is just to give us an idea of what we might see left in the archaeology. So what do you reckon, Trev? It's been in here now for, what would you say, about 2-3 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
Ooh, so interestingly, the paint's definitely still on there. So,
Yeah.
and it's glowing hot. So
that is very impressive.
that is really, isn't it? I think we've just fired them.
I think what's really interesting is they don't actually look much different.
No.
But clearly that's glowing, it's hot.
Yeah, we can see that the impressions that I was after, that we were looking at before, they're still very much there, very clear, and now they're fired in, so they're going to be even harder than they were before.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting.
That is actually really interesting though, isn't it? Look at that. Some of it though, you can see where this stuff has been in further in the fire. So you could say it's reduced fired. This material here is oxidized, nice and red color.
Yep.
So there's lots of different things happening, isn't there?
And I don't think it's necessarily a bad approximation of the sort of fire you'd expect, because that stuff is mud, and inside that, on our wall, was the timber. So the timber is effectively being shielded from the fire by the daub. So there's no reason to sort of think that the timber that makes up the walls would get incredibly hot. So what our fire is 300-400 maybe, something like that. But for, you know, it's not unnecessarily low for the sort of fire you might expect in a roundhouse. You know, I really expected this might go really flaky, or certainly char. I just didn't expect it to be preserved that well. See, it's easy to sort of look at that and think, well, it's not very hot.
It's
But
very hot.
It's very hot.
It's glowing, isn't it?
That is, so that is one hot piece of clay.
But you can see already, even when you just pour the water onto there, it starts to weather straight away.
Yeah.
That chalk has done some remarkable things.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I think that's because it's turned into lime in the fire.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that's a limey reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And that is lime now. It's liquid.
Yeah, amazing.
That's quite reactive, so it's turned into quicklime. I suspect all that's daub as well. But
it is, but I would say...
would you identify it if you found it in a fire? I don't think so, would you?
No, this is exactly it, isn't it? It
Yeah.
just looks like burnt,
Just random stuff. Don't know
cruddy clay with some
yeah.
kind of bit of a chalk inclusion
Yep.
there. So exactly, once you start losing the nice big chunk stage, let's call it, you really begin, you've no chance of identifying it, do you?
No, none whatsoever, I don't think. Burnt mud and burnt daub are going to look pretty much the same.
Yep. But then again, you get little intriguing bits like that.
Yeah.
You can see an impression on
Yeah.
there, can't you? Oh, sorry, on that one. I mean, there's something happening there. You could definitely say that it's been around something, but whether or not you'd be able to categorically say it's daub.
I think if you excavated that, you'd have little doubt about what you found.
Yeah, you'd be very excited.
And you know, the people who are excavating know exactly what they're looking for in those cases.
And I think we should bury some of the now fired stuff and then some of the stuff that's fresh off the wall.
Yep, good. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Excellent. Should we go and dig a little hole?
Yeah.
Our hoard of daub.
We'll always be able to find it now because we can just use our powers of divining. There it is.
It's like a little altar.
Figurine, yeah.
Here lieth M74.
I think now all we've got to do is wait about 2,000 years and we've nailed it.
Well, if we leave really good records, hopefully people in the future will be able to come and find our daub if we forget where it is.
Yeah, I think our markers are unmistakable. There's no question what's going on there. That's a kind of a burial for the house, but it's also to examine something called taphonomic process, which is really how something new becomes something old. So how the present turns into archaeology.
What we did observe was that all of the impressions remained in the fire and were kind of baked in there, so that's a really interesting observation. And also we saw that the paint remained pretty well intact on the outside. So now what will be interesting is to leave it in the ground for a couple of years. We've put in some fired daub and some non-fired daub, and we'll be able to compare how they react in the ground differently.